it's TorontoUnicorn and
it's Miss Jyla Valentine.
And we are here to color one of our dick coloring pages from our book. Now this is a hawk video. We sell this, or I sell this on my Amazon storefront. There is a link in this video. But basically, we wanted to have girl talk while we colored in pictures of dick. So we're gonna cut out the boring parts for the most part and give you a condensed version, but this should be fun.
I am very excited for this.
Awesome. So Kylie gets to now look through all the pictures of all the little dicks. What is it called? The Big Adventures of Tiny Dick. So she gets to look through and see all of these adventures and pick the one she wants. And then we're going to cut it out and we're going to color it in.
Okay, so yeah, Jake and I are going camping next month, so I might actually do the camping one.
Okay.
Oh my god, amusement park! Oh, no. It's a wiener roasting a wiener. I'm doing the camping one.
Okay, don't rip it. We'll come out cleanly. It's funny because you were so committed right away. You're like, this is the one.
It's perfect. I'm taking this home for him, and we are going to look at this, and we're going to laugh, and it's going to be a great day.
Okay, show the camera up close. And I'm going to pick one.
Oh my god, it's scuba diving.
Yeah.
It's walking a dog!
I think I like the butterfly and the house in this one. So I think I like the idea of coloring in these lines because I'm like OCD and ADHD. So for me, I'm like, this is an orgasm in my brain. So we are going to color in our favorite dick pictures.
I am excited for this.
This is what
it's gonna be art.
Girls do when we don't play with boys in the same room. We have we just color dicks instead of play with dicks.
Jake is working, yes. So I am literally going without a D right now. So yes. I need to have a D here to make up for it.
It's true. And because I'm a unicorn and they only play together, when she comes over, even though we're girls, we still don't kiss or anything because boundaries are boundaries, rules are rules, and we don't get confused just because someone's not here. So exactly. Yeah, so it's kind of like it's a fun way to hang out and keep this next part for when we have all of us around.
Exactly.
All right, except I did have to pick some fuzz out of your thigh crease for a close-up view for your fan page, but that's what friends are for.
That's what friends are for.
Don't all friends do that?
I know. Well, friends do that.
Right?
Okay, I'm making a black dick. Because
okay, all right.
That is where my mind's at right now.
All right.
Jake and I had a threesome this week with a BBC, so this is what is on my mind, and I'm going to make this a beautiful, beautiful thing.
And so for anybody who doesn't know Jyla Valentine very well, she has a lot of sexual experiences with her partner all the time. They do all sorts of experimentation to the point where sometimes I wonder how they stay excited for new experiences because what's another orgy or what's another, whatever, can I ask, how do you keep it interesting or how do you keep it spicy even when you have all these new experiences that are just different people but not new experiences in the same way,
Well, we try to make it new in whatever way that we can. Whether it's modifying a play that we've done, what we talked a little bit about cucking. Okay. So whether it's modifying that to be a different type, or we find a different guy and there's something different about him that we really, really like, then we'll be able to use that in our own way. So either way, even though a lot of the times, yes, at the end of the day, swinging, there's only so many different types of threesomes you can have.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, but we still find a way to make each one different and each one special. But then if we don't, if we find that okay, this person has nothing left to offer, then we've actually been very good at just diplomatically saying, okay, that was fun, but I think that we'll say hi next time we see you, but play wise I think we're good for the next little while at least. And it's been good.
It's good.
We had this guy that we met up with on FetLife a few times, and we had our fun, but then when things started to get stale, it got stale on both of our ends, and then we both just diplomatically were okay, that was fun, but yeah, I think that we've come to a time in our lives where we've gotten all we can from each other, and that was totally fine.
Fascinating. So it's really role playing too. It's a different energy with a different person.
Exactly.
Because even when me and you and Mr. Jyla Valentine play together, it's not the same every time.
No, there's always something at the end of the day. Yeah, you do have more of a dominant personality, and you are at the end of the day doming me. Usually, whether it's alongside him or doming the two of us,
But that didn't start that way.
Actually, it didn't.
I didn't even know I wanted to dom people.
Isn't it so much fun to dom people, though?
Well, it's very natural for me, and I think it's interesting because, yes, I do. I just didn't know I did.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be the dom that I saw in some porn. I didn't want to be mean. I didn't want to yell at someone. I didn't want to fulfill a role of what I thought a female dom looked like.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like, no, I don't fit that role. And even now, like, I've had fans ask me to, you know, degrade them in a video just because, like, they're into it for custom video or something. And I remember being like, I had a hard time with it. Like, it was just like, I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah. So I realized that for me, I'm the kind of dom that recognizes not just what I want out of the sub, but what the sub can get out of me.
Yeah.
And so when I listen to things like, for example, if you hear somebody repeat something over and over again that made them feel good about an experience they had with somebody, whether it's a detail such as, you know, leaving a pre-rolled joint behind or running you a bubble bath after taking a few men, you felt like the princess. It made you light up. And so as a dom, I pay attention to what makes you light up, because at the same point, the same thing that you're doing that's make me happy, I'm also trying to give it back to you. Huh. Right? And give you that princess experience with a slut. So it's like that's what people, I think, need to understand about the dynamic of doming in general is it's really two-sided. It's 100%. Not, for the most part, it's not one, at least for me, it's very playful for me. It's also, it just keeps me a little bit more alive than I've been in a while to have new role to fill and feel excited about, frankly, like, for example, I've been exploring an idea of having some people in the lifestyle who are considered more like slaves, like they're considered more like, you know, oriented towards self-sacrifice for someone else. Yeah. To be like, you know, maybe like, you know, you hear about these girls doing this, but like, you know, getting their laundry done or like, you know, getting some video edits. Like I'm really tempted in a way to find a dynamic that is just so out of the box thinking, but also fulfilling for both. So that's something I'm thinking about, but not super seriously at this point.
That honestly, that would suit you so well. And in this lifestyle, there's something for everyone. So, like, in vanilla world, it's like, you couldn't talk about that and be, like, wishful thinking. Like, that's never gonna happen. A girl can dream, but no, like,
it really can happen.
It really can happen.
It really can.
And that's the beauty about being a part of this lifestyle, is that, like, whatever you want, it can happen. Why are you setting limits for yourself? You, like, you want to go, like, take on, like, you know, in my case, 13 Ds at a sex club one day, then go ahead, do it. The world is yours.
And the thing is, like, when I see women come to my channel, I see which videos they come to for the most part. It's the DTF videos. It's women watching women, and this is why I'm so proud to have our showcased for a lot of my DTF videos, is because it's somebody who is unapologetic about sexual liberation as a woman, and that's very hard to find, especially, like, represented. And I hope, I've heard and I've seen women come and say, I can't believe there's a place you can go do this. I didn't know that. I don't need, like, I can be the slut I've always wanted to be, you know? Exactly. And it's like, yes, you can.
You can. Yeah. Well, take it from me. Like, I grew up, like, in a very, very Catholic household. Went to Catholic school, like, super duper Catholic school, abstinence only, sex education, all of that stuff that you end up hearing about in the movies that makes someone rebel. Yep. I am the poster child for that. And, like, I remember I always liked sex ever since, like, I was a teenager. Like, I lost my V card when I was, I think, 15 years old. Like, and word got around. Like, of course, like, this guy, like, I'm one of the first girls in my grade to lose it. And then of course I tell the guy, don't tell anyone, and he says he's not going to. And then the next day at school, hey.
I'm so guilty too. I'll leave a date sometimes. I'll be like, oh, don't worry, I'll keep it between us. I'd be like, I bet it was this thick, and then it went in for like this long. Like, girls are so, they share.
The guy told everyone.
Oh, the guy
told, because, you know, he was one of the first guys in our grade to lose his V card. So of course he's going to want to friggin' brag about it. He was bragging, so he's like, hey, oh yeah, like I did it over at her place, and then all of a sudden, like, I go to school, like, after that weekend, and people are just like, hey, Kylie, you slept with, like... Yeah, no, literally.
And back in those days, that wasn't a compliment.
It wasn't a compliment, and I remember people telling me that I should feel, like, embarrassed, I should feel, like, I should, you know, have a sense of class about you, don't do it, and I'm just like, but why? It's fun, and I made it work. Like, I was able to, like, be a whore for lack of a better word. Like, I slept around with guys at other schools. Guys knew that I was going to be an easy lay, but at the same time, like, I never felt bad about it. I'm just like, hey, let them talk.
And you
I'm having
it,
fun.
right?
I'm enjoying myself. And at the end of the day, I didn't compromise who I was. I still got straight A's in school. I was still playing, I was still on the basketball team. I still had, like, some good friends. Like, it didn't compromise who I was. And I think that's the most important thing. Just because you like sex.
You're like the happiest person I've ever met. So, like, for me, I'm like, if it's anything, it's healthy.
100%.
Like, how less bitchy would I be with a few extra D's in my fucking diet?
Well, you're very, very happy after you have some fun with Jake. I'll tell you that.
I do have a glow after sex, I've noticed. And I love when we film that part because he leaves me in a position where I can't move for a few minutes.
Oh, that turns me on so much.
And
that
I'm like, you just go over there now. And, you know, I'm done. You've done a good job. I'm just gonna sit over here now.
No, that is honestly like the best, and the biggest compliment as well.
I can imagine because I've really only done this as the unicorn side, and so I wanted to do it as a partner, but we never found the lifestyle together. We thought you had to find the unicorn on Tinder, not in a sex club. We didn't know that, so we didn't have success. But as a single, I know what it's like for me. But as a girl, I know that you share him very well.
Thank you.
And I share men very well in sexual ways specifically. I can't talk about emotional ways because I don't agree the same is the same. But not all women or men even understand how it's possible that we could watch somebody that like we have feelings for, you're in a relationship with, you love, give a woman like vibrational orgasms. You know what I'm saying? So see it in your own words. Why can you prove in a way that you like it? Like how would you tell somebody why you do this, why you like it?
Because there is something that is like hot about seeing my man please another girl. Like after he's done with you and like you are literally like in a state of like comatose for the next like 5-10 seconds, however long it is, sometimes
like
longer.
Minutes, yeah.
Yeah. Like that for me is such a turn on because I'm just like, okay, that is my guy. I get that every single day.
Yeah.
Like I almost feel like it's fun seeing him make someone else feel that way because I know that the girl had a good time, and then I get almost like an ego boost. Like, yeah, he's mine. Like, I know it's like a horrible thing.
Well, I can imagine it being self-conscious otherwise. If you had a partner that did have challenges sexually and then you're swinging with them, it could be something that would be a very different feeling. So
yeah, then we'd both be getting nervous. Like, if that was the case, like, I know that my man is good with his D.
Yeah.
Like, I know that he's great with it. I know that he leaves girls happy. Like, a girl will tell him, like, oh yeah, like, I've never ever been able to squirt before.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, oh, really? And then next thing you know, 30 minutes later, like,
yep.
I
believe it, man. I believe it. He's something.
He's quite
good
nice.
Work.
Yeah, he's quite nice. So that's the thing. Like, for me, it turns me on because I see him pleasing someone else that makes them almost like him. Then I get a little bit territorial. Like, yeah, he's mine. Yeah. And then it's also just fun seeing like what another girl can offer that I can't. Like, it doesn't assume that she's better.
Let's pause.
Yeah.
If some girl, for example, say that you try, but you can't get this dick in your throat, and some girl comes and she can. Tell me why that doesn't make you feel like jealous or insecure instead of happy, because this is the part where people are like, well, wouldn't that reflect badly on you that somebody's doing a better job?
Yeah.
In a certain way, right?
See, hard for me to answer that because if I'm being totally honest, if anyone can take a guy's dick or a guy's D in the throat, it's me. So
fair point.
So
fair
hard
point.
for me to answer that from someone from a different perspective. But I can see why the jealousy would be a thing. But you just got to remember that just because someone is better in, for example, one way, they're going to be worse in a million others. At the end of the day, you know your partner better than the other person ever could. Like, this girl can take his D like in her throat better than you ever can, but at the end of the day, you know the spots on his D that get him to bust. Like, you know the tricks that will get him feeling really, really good. So you just got to remember that at the end of the day, you know your partner best, and you're gonna make them feel the best.
I do have a question because this came up in a news in a feed that I'm on where people ask advice, and they said that they can't make their husband come with a blowjob. Like, they just can't do it. They don't come that way. And then basically they swung, and then some girl was able to make him come. and she took it really personally.
Yeah.
So how would you react if that was a situation of your own insecurities and another girl was able to do something?
I see why a girl would get insecure about that. 100%. I can see why she would have a range of emotions, ranging from like anger to sadness to jealousy, confusion, like, and everything in between.
Yeah.
But also, if there's one thing that I've learned about guys, is that guys, like, it doesn't necessarily mean the girl was better than you. For example, that the guy has not only a girl sucking his D, but a new girl alongside his actual girl. So he, like, honestly, guys are very, very simple creatures. What's better than one girl? Two girls. Yep. So just the sight of that alone is going to add some extra stimulation that could make it easier for him to come.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a very good way of putting it, because I don't think that perspective was what I saw. I think people were like, oh, don't take it personally, whatever. But I was like, yeah, what if it is just the whole threesome experience?
Yeah, it's literally, you have different types of stimulation, like feeling, and like you have different types of visual stimulation, all the different, like, combined with the new experience. That's a recipe for a guy to be able to bust easily.
So for me, I'm different. I'm not romantically involved in the men that I've swung with. For the most part, I have had friends with benefits, right? And so I've not had the struggle the same that some might with a relationship. I put a disclaimer on there, right? But I remember when I was sharing, I wanted a girl to do a better blowjob than I could do, because in a way I wanted, when I was involved, because I wanted to be a part of gifting that to the guy. I wanted to feel that I was going to be associated with the good memories that he's making, especially if I'm in the scene, if I'm holding her hair back.
100%.
Right? And so for me, I'm like, I want them to have new facial expressions, new sounds, because like, as long as I'm a part of it, then I'm part of it.
Exactly.
And it's good. It's not threatening.
No, and that's the same reason, like, why we're able to do things like cucking. Like, I know that, like, it's very...
Can you explain cucking really quick?
Oh, yes. So, basically, the definition that you're going to see mostly is kind of, like, excluding one partner from the scene. And this could be full of exclusion in terms of ignoring, exclusion in terms of I'm going to be with this other guy because he has something that you can't offer me. It is definitely a dom sub type of play, where the person doing the cucking is with someone else and is being dom, and the person getting cucked is more excluded, and they're in more of a more often a humiliation type of scene.
Yeah, and so when I hear humiliation, sometimes I'm like, what? But sometimes the humiliation isn't what you think it is. It's the humiliation is and I've seen it in a way that makes me understand it. It's like sitting back and watching your girl go crazy over some giant dick that she reaches her in places that maybe an average size dick can't. And when you get to see him sit back and gleam, because even though he's left out, he's helping you have this experience.
Exactly.
That's cucking to me too. Cucking is also being like, I want you to have this experience even if I'm not involved, or even if I am involved in a submissive way.
In a submissive way. And also, like, the person's never really excluded, because, like, even when I am, like, cucking Jay, or Jay even cucks me sometimes, my attention is more on Jay than the guy I'm cucking him with. Like, I am looking at Jay, like, while I'm getting railed by a guy with a bigger D.
Not the whole time.
Not the whole time, and there are some times where, like, you know, I zone out on purpose.
When people I'm fucking in a threesome are staring at their fucking wife. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not just here to be that entertainment, but, like, it only happened once, but, like, it felt a little, like, can you, like, look at me a little? Like, I'm not saying you can't, but don't stare at someone instead of me.
Yeah. No, I totally get
I'm
that.
not a fucking rent-a-vagina.
I love you.
Said, you know?
I love you. Oh my god. No, like, I'm not staring, like, the entire time. The other person's not being excluded. Like, we're still there to please each other in a dynamic. Like, so that's the thing that people, I don't know, think outside the box. Like,
outside the box.
That's the most important thing. Think outside the box. If you want to, like, try, like, doming doesn't necessarily need to be what, like, a strict definition that you imagine it being.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons why for the longest time I wasn't into femdom, because I didn't have it in me, because I was like you. I thought it was like humiliation, like intense, like inflicting pain almost.
Yeah.
Jake can't feel pain, so I tried to like spank him or hit him with a like paddle a few times, and it literally tickled him, and I'm like, okay, this is not hot. But so then I learned that there's other ways that you can do it. You can be like your vibe, you're playful.
Yeah.
Like, and then little things like that, and then you start exploring a whole other world that you didn't think existed. And then all of a sudden, here I am, like a year later, like, oh, I like doming.
And I'm not gonna lie, when I got him to come and put up a hanging on my wall that I couldn't do on my own, and I did, you know, I sat without being done for a while, I got something out of that exchange too, because as a girl in that position of power in the sexual dynamic, I built up to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's something that's very exciting, because I'm sorry, but now every day I look at that, I'm like, yeah, thanks. Because I really needed that help. So it also builds into the role play for me, all sorts of things that I find fulfilling. Because to be honest, it's hard to not have a man around the house sometimes to have like help like with something like heavy or lifting, you know, something like that.
Exactly. You want a man around the house? Sure.
Yeah.
Like, just tell him what you want. Tell him what you want to do, and do it in a sexy way, and then he'll gladly do it.
And then I have you in a sexy outfit waiting for you on the side with a little cocktail. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We
Exactly.
have a really fun vibe, the three of us.
Yeah. No, I love it when the three of us hang out.
Yeah. And it goes to show that you can be friends with benefits in not just a one-on-one relationship. Like they come as a package deal, but I like as a they're 2+1. Let's put that 2+1. So it's kind of fun because when we go hang out at the club, we don't stick together because we don't need to. We have all sorts of time to do that. We now want to build and even watch each other's successes, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's really exciting because with my other friends with benefits with men before, not couples, but men, I would still have issues of jealousy sometimes and feeling left out if they were, you know, having a good experience with them. I mean, like, it was hard to navigate. I still, like, did my best. But it's just different with a couple. I find there's really no weirdness. Like, I need almost a vacation from the feels, you know? And so for a couple, I find it much more natural to not even have that as a concern.
Yeah. Because you don't need to worry about, like, getting too clingy, because
it's not even available either, right? So it's like, it would be different if I was dating or something and I'm thinking about that. But no, if it's literally a sexual dynamic, that's expectation management. It's just everything is expectation management.
That's the biggest thing. Like, that was what made us, like, our expectations and learning how to, like, literally just manage them is what made us start to like the lifestyle. Our first few times going to Oasis, we didn't like it.
Really?
Oh, because we had expectations as to what it was going to be about. So
what were your expectations that didn't match up?
Like, honestly, it was the fact about how casual everything was.
For us, wanted it more intense?
We wanted it more intense. So we go there and
Gotcha.
it's so casual and we're just like,
Gotcha.
and some, like, although there is a sexy energy to the place, like, it wasn't as, like, I don't know, it was more casual than we thought it was going to be. And that threw us off and full out turned us off the first time we were there. And then we had a threesome our first time there, and it was, again, just very casual, and we were like almost to the point where it didn't seem like the guy cared, and we're just like,
interesting.
Okay, not exactly sure. Like, we didn't even get that guy's name. Yeah. Like, we had different expectations for what we were thinking, and then we would go there literally saying, okay, so who are we gonna pick up tonight? And then getting stressed when the clock's ticking down and then we didn't pick up who we had a perfect vision of picking up. And then it wasn't until one day, okay, you know what, let's go for us. Let's go use their patio, smoke a bit of weed, go for a drink, use their pool, like, and then have some fun, just the two of us.
Yeah.
And then that was like the best time that we had, and we realized, okay, go to Oasis for us.
Yeah.
Don't have expectations as to what happens. Expect to just chill ourselves, and then if sex with someone else happens, it happens, but it will be casual, and that's the fun of it, because like it doesn't need to be a huge intense thing.
Yeah, that's great. It's good to know that it can also warm to people who don't even love it the first time, because I do send advice out to my videos saying don't go on a DTF or bukkake for a first time. And then I do have fans that reach out to me saying, I know you said not to. I did. This is what happened. And now I know I shouldn't have. So I do get the reassurance from people that, yes, it is the wrong night to introduce to people the club environment.
100%.
I don't even like DTF all the time. And I need to go every other time now because they stopped giving the membership stuff with the participation.
Kill me now.
Yeah, right? And so for me, as a loyal, like, Oasis person, it's hard to bring a girl there to take 13 men and not... And still, like, pay to get in kind of thing, or, like, pay to get in the next... You know, it just feels a little, like, where's the reward system again?
Yeah, I miss the reward system. Like, it was nice to feel, like, appreciated with... Because, like, I would go, and I would, again, not to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but, like, I was the type of girl that guys would go there for. Like, because I would be 3-hole girl, open for whatever they wanted to do. Like, whatever fantasy you have, sure, bring it. Like, I'm here. And...
You're the entertainment.
I was the entertainment. I am the paying. Yeah, I'm the entertainment.
Yeah.
So it was nice when they would reward me with like the point, like get in for free, and then you get in free like the rest of the month, because we would go. We would bring people there. We would meet people, and we'd say, "Okay, come meet us at Oasis." So they would be getting revenue from us anyways.
Yeah, sure.
So it was nice to almost feel like I was, part of the Oasis family.
Yeah.
And I hope that they bring that back. I know one of the staff members is hoping that it will get brought back, but
I just remember before the pandemic that I, as a single girl, did not pay to go there. I had points because I went to DTF. Back in those days, you didn't even have to participate. You just had to be a girl there. But, like, eventually they changed it. But, yeah, so for me, that would be a big deal, because then they would bring more people in who want the benefit.
yeah.
So.
Like, you're the reason, like, they get their revenue, most of their revenue from single guys. They're not going to get revenue from single guys if the single girls who are participating in the events aren't there.
So we're about to sign off and order some delicious food.
I am so hungry.
Yeah, me too. So, we're going to fill the rest of this in later, but this is so far my version, and she can show you hers. And we're going to take a picture of our final colored in one and put it on our website. I may end up signing this and sending it to a fan or seeing what comes of it, but I love doing this sort of thing. So hopefully you check out TorontoUnicorn.com. Thank you to Kylie from Jyla Valentine for being here and giving us her inside take on all of the things slut in her head, that, a happy slut that is happy to talk about it.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to share some wisdom from a slut.
Yes. And we both have fan pages, and you can find the links on my website.
It's a wiener roasting all wiener!